Hey, ich bin Arante von Maus und ihr schaut die Valorant Challengers DACH Evolution.
Willkommen zu einer neuen Folge Evolution Beyond. Ich bin Raphael und diese Woche dabei ist der Ingame-Leader von Laterious.
Hello.
First up, you've tweeted that you're playing games since you were around 8 years old with your brother back then. Can you tell us a bit more about how you started your whole gaming career and your gaming journey?
When I was very young, I remember we were playing both Nintendo, my brother and I, where he was playing Pokemon, stuff like this, like the standard stuff. And then organically, when we got older, it changed to different games. Like when I was he's 3 years older than me. When I was like 8 or 9, I started playing Counter-Strike Source and later on League of Legends. And I like vividly remember my mom didn't let me play Counter-Strike, so I would like sneak down. We only had one computer, so I would sneak down when no one was home and play like Counter-Strike Source. Oh, sorry. Counter-Strike Source, like it was called like Simpsons gun game, stuff like some most random stuff. But that was like the first thing I tried to play FPS-wise. And then later on, it turned into League of Legends, where I started grinding a lot. That was maybe when I was like 11 or 12. But then I started playing Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike, and then until Valorant came out, and then Valorant came out, I started playing that, and now I'm here, right?
Now you are here, and what about your brother? Is he also trying his best to get up to your level, or did he completely ban this path and does like a normal job?
Yeah, my brother's not playing anymore. He's like a filthy casual player now. But that's, he's doing great. He's studying at a very good school, and yeah, he has his own life going on. But yeah, he's still playing once in a while. I still hear him. He doesn't live here right now, but when he was living here, you could still hear some live from his room sometimes, where he was like arguing with people in the game and stuff like this. So.
How is your family overall? Are they super supportive, or was it a bit of a struggle to get them to, hey, this is my life now, I want to do this for a career?
I mean, honestly, my family is amazing, supporting-wise. Like, in the start, my brother was watching all the games. My mom and dad are supporting me the whole way through. My whole family is understanding. But yeah, I think like before Valorant came out, I was kind of in like a hole in my life, like mentally and physically. Like, yeah, I was just like in a bad place. And then when Valorant came out, like I dropped out of school and there was a lot of stuff going on in my life. And then Valorant came out, I just dedicated my life to it, everything I had, honestly. And now it's like it's my job, which is amazing. So I think they're just like proud that I have something that I love and that I put my heart into, that I can actually live off, like, which is amazing. So I'm super happy. I have an understanding family, and yeah.
You already mentioned before you started out with Counter-Strike. Was that also where the whole competitive streak started for you, or was it really Valorant that lit the fire inside of you?
I've always been like a competitive person in the sense that I think it really started back when I started playing League of Legends. And I don't know, it was something about I think I was 11 or 12, and I in every game I've played, I've started in the lowest rank possible. Like you wouldn't imagine, like literally like bronze 5 or whatever. I started, and when you see yourself rising in the ranks, there was just something that sparked inside me. Like I don't know what it was. It was so motivating to me, seeing that you could just see your improvements within the ranks, right? And see that you started as top 10 million, now you're all of a sudden you're top 10,000 in Europe, now you're top 5,000. You know what I mean? Like that climb was just sparked something inside of me. And the same in Counter-Strike, really, when I started playing Faceit. And you all of a sudden, well, I mean, it's only in Faceit Elo, so it was nothing important, crazy, but it was just like when you're looking that you're climbing the ranks, that all of a sudden you're top 200 in Europe, right? Elo-wise. Yeah, I think that was what sparked my real competitive like grind for the game. Like in every game I've played, I've just been a grinder. I've been working really hard. I remember no advice out there, but like in League, I was skipping school. Counter-Strike, I was skipping school. It was just, I don't know, it was just everything for me. It was like an escape from reality, and I was just like grinding every day. In CS, I had, I think, over 10,000 hours. And I never really, I played competitive in Counter-Strike, but nothing special. Like I only played on teams a few here and there. I was more like playing Pocky style, like playing Danish Pro League and stuff like this. And then when Valorant came out, I was just like, I knew I had what it takes, because the way I grind, the way I approach games, the way I always strive to improve and be the best. So yeah, I just gave it my best shot, and it worked out. Like I think I've never got paid a penny for playing Counter-Strike, and I literally got signed to, it was called Absolute Legends back then in the beta in Valorant. I literally got paid when it was the closed beta still, so like it was just like a wild experience. Like I started getting paid for a new game when it was not even open beta yet. which was pretty wild.
Basically, you just said you already got a paid contract back then in open beta it was, and from then on, obviously, you went through a lot of teams. Could you quickly just give us a recap of what all the things were and teams you went through? Because I mean, I remember seeing you play on a lot of different teams back then on the first VCT qualifiers. I remember seeing you play First Strike. Then obviously you were Polaris. What were all the iterations of Valorant teams and leagues you played in so far?
I think there's a lot to talk about. We can try to go from a start. So first I played with, back then it was called Madness back then, and I joined as a 5th player. And then we got picked up by Absolute Legends. It was with Zeke and Carcass, a guy called Specy. We played with BOASTER as well, and we actually won our first tournament. After a few, we played against Draken, Safe, some other Swedish guys. Yeah, so that was the first team I really played on, where I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like, I'm playing against people I watched in CS and stuff like this. So yeah, that was the first team. Then we did well in that tournament. Then we stopped working with BOASTER. We parted our ways. Then a few months later down the line, I played with Laterious, I'm pretty sure, which was with Bishop and Amp and Dawn, or Malfoy as well. Then we later got picked up by CGN with that roster. So they did their first international team. There was a lot of problems and issues though. Not with the org, but like with our team in general. So that didn't go that far. I mean, we had some close results. We were playing like First Strike against, I'll never forget, we kind of threw a map like against the NIP. It was back then best of 1 single elimination. We played like on Bind. I remember I was playing Phoenix. I was just popping off, but we still lost somehow. But yeah, that was with CGN. We had some close results, but we never got that far. Then there was a few weeks where I had no team, and then Zeke contacted me. And he was playing on the first team I obviously knew, and he was playing with Wave, and they just got let go of Tribune. And then yeah, it went from there. Like I remember, Wave at the time was a pretty strong team. Like they were like a team up and coming, and they were playing good Valorant, I would say. And they needed a smokes player. I came in. I remember we played our first official against Guild. It was also like I was doing good individually, so I had a lot of eyes on me at the time. After Wave, there was some issues with Wave. Can't go too much into details. Not the greatest experience all around, but yeah, there was some interesting stuff like coming from the org side and stuff like that. And then I got picked up by Alliance, and that was like a big step up for me. I remember I played, but that was funnily enough, it was with Zeke again. Like me and Zeke got picked up by Alliance, so it was me, Zeke, Enzo, Locker, and Hype. And yeah, we were playing a fantastic Valorant. I'm not gonna lie, we were dominating like in scrims. I remember every team. It was actually disturbing, but we never really got the success we strive for in officials. We were choking a lot of games. There was a lot of mental barriers, but yeah, that was an amazing team. Like some good players, and you can see also where Enzo is now. He played with Fnatic later on. Then we kind of fell apart on Alliance. Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of months where it was like the whole plan was to rebuild. Like, so we played one season with the Danish Lions, a bit of a disaster, some would say, but it was basically just like to keep the spot in Polaris. We wanted to keep the spot in Polaris, so we just had like 5 Danish players to see if there was any album coming that we could use for a later project. So that was before franchise, and we wanted to rebuild the roster. But yeah, then nothing really happened with it. It fell apart some way or another. So I was standing there without team when it was like late like before the next season, so I had nowhere really to go. And then I got contacted by Bunker. I had previously tried with him, and I really respected him as like an individual. And I was like, I knew he was a great caller. He played with a lot of young guys. I knew Kix was on the roster, and I was like, I knew he was also up and coming. So I gave it a shot. I was like, this is the place for me to be to take the next step up. So that was with Chihuahua, Bunker, Jusu, Kix, and we played the Polaris split, where nothing. I mean, it was kind of disappointing. I'm not gonna lie. There was also some shenanigans going on there where Bunker was not allowed to play, so we lost our chance to go playoffs because he was coaching an NA team. But to his defense, it was like we all accepted it. We were fine that he was coaching an NA team while we were packing and stuff like this. it was not allowed by Riot, so we had to just forfeit our next game against Apex, our only chance for playoffs. So that was like a sad end to that story. And then yeah, I was thinking about after that season what I wanted to do with my life and what I wanted to do with because Laterious, it's a dark place, honestly, because there's not a lot of orgs that are interested. There's a lot of fantastic players, but there's just not the interest, there's not the viewers, there's not nothing. And I was like, okay, I probably need to take a step back and think about what's gonna really make sense for me future-wise. And then actually, I just want to before I joined LCS, actually, when Bunker had to leave Bunk, I stepped in as an IGL, and I was not sure. I was like, I actually think I can do this, and I tried it, and it just felt right. Like I've always been the most like the second call on teams. I've always been a very vocal player, and it just felt right. And then I had the chance to get the trial with the Laterious. And I wanted to have Kicks with me because I know what the potential he has, and I was not sure. Like I'm not even sure. Like this was my actual thought, or like what I explained to Kicks when we got the offer. I was like, we got the offer, let's just try it. Let's play with some random Germans. I was like, let's try it because I know the Dark League is good. And then we played with them, and we were surprised positively, like how they were playing. They were not bad. I was like, okay, I think we can really build something here. Some young guys, like Click also, for example, has amazing potential. It was kind of out of the blue, but I think for at least for myself, it made sense. Like it was the next step for my future and my career to go in as an IGL. I have a lot of experience and stuff like this, and it just feels right. So now we're here. We're playing the season. We've had a few mediocre results, nothing special. But yeah, that's where we are today. I'm playing for Laterious, and that's it.
What a journey you had so far, but one thing you left out a bit was in the end kind of the biggest name. You were playing for FPX on a loan back then in Masters, I think 2022 it was, which eventually went to FPX and they lifted the trophy with your help. How was it playing with and for FPX in such a big tournament?
Yeah, it was just surreal. I left it out because I was a stand-in, but yeah, let me say, like, it was kind of out of the blue. I remember I messaged Doom Bros. I got messaged before about like potentially being as a six-man, like for if they needed a stand-in, not an official six-man, but if they need a stand-in. And I remember I couldn't at the time. I think I had something with the Lions. We were building a new roster for the franchising or whatever, like the potential franchising. It was kind of out of the blue, and I reached out to Doom Bros again, and I was like, is it still a possibility? And he was like, no, we already have like the players we need for, like they needed 2 stand-in players on standby. And they were like, no, the players are this and that, and we really want you, but it's not possible because they had to write up all the documents and stuff like this. And then somehow one player couldn't go, and he was like, oh, it's on again. And I was like, okay, wow, interesting. And this just unfolded so quick. I was super lucky that Alliance allowed it. Alliance allowed me to go on a loan with them, and it was just a crazy experience. Like one day for another, all of a sudden, like I've always had tremendous respect for FPX, and then all of a sudden, just being in a practice with them, Angel telling you, this is how we're gonna do this is how we're gonna do that, and it was a crazy experience. And I honestly was just a sponge. Like I was just sucking in all the information I could, and I was just trying to be humble and just take everything I could and and run with it pretty much. Yeah, it was a crazy experience. A lot of people don't know this, but I was standing in for Schau's roles. So I was playing Fade and Sova, which was what I played in the start of my career. And so I was grinding that 24/7, trying to stay on top of that. And this is all within like a few weeks span. So I only had like 1 week to prepare for that 2 weeks. Then we went to Copenhagen. We started practicing. It was me and Mast. It was 2 stand-ins. And then all of a sudden we got the phone call that Schau got his visa, and they wanted to keep me. So they were like, yeah, Seider, you're gonna stay, but now you need to play Sugetsu's roles. So I've been practicing for 2 or 3 weeks with on the Fade Sova, which I had to adjust to, and now I had to play all of a sudden Sentinel, like Viper, and keep in mind I was playing a smoker at the time. I was playing controller usually. So I was just like, all right, this is still my chance. So we're gonna play against the best teams in the world, but I have like 3 scrim days to prepare for. Like I remember I hadn't played Viper on Fracture before. So there was some maps where I had no experience on it really, and all of a sudden I had to play the best teams in the world. But I was just like, all right, I think I can do it. I just tried. Like Doom Bros helped me a lot, Angel as well. I was just remember after we played like maybe 5-6 scrims, because we need to play a lot of maps a day. I was just like going to my room, watching VODs of Sugetsu, stuff like this. It was like long days. And then we started to play, and it went all right. It was not like I had insane stats or anything, but I think I didn't. I was like proud that I just did my part, because I literally all of a sudden I was playing usually higher tier 2. Then all of a sudden I had to play high tier 1, the best teams in the world on a role I had played 4 days. Obviously I also played some Omen in there and stuff like that, so it was nothing that crazy or like that new, but there was still some maps where it was hard. I mean, then honestly after a few games I was hoping that Sugetsu would come, because I really knew that they would win it all, and I really thought they deserved it. Like, they're such hardworking guys and great guys all around. I think Doombros might be the hardest working man I've met. So I was just like hoping that Sugetsu would get there, but he still didn't get it. So we ended actually, which I was really happy about. We ended up getting playoffs, which was like the hopeful goal that we can get playoffs and then Sugetsu would come. I was always saying to my friends, I hope I can just play a few good games so people know I can play the game. And then we go playoffs and they will win it all. I remember I vividly said this. And then I played one playoff game against Fnatic where we choked on Icebox. I remember it was actually a bit sad. They were like the kings of Icebox back then. And yeah, we kind of choked on attack, which was sad. But then Sugetsu came in the end after the Fnatic game, and like the rest is pretty much history. Like, it's a wild story, and I was just happy I was like a little piece of the puzzle, so to say.
Not only were you a little bit a small piece of the puzzle to win in the end, you also had some nice talk, which went kind of viral, if you remember, by any chance.
Nah, it was honestly, it's like, I don't know if people know. I mean, I think the more time Navi, like now they're called Navi, that they know that they have some trolls on the team. It was like back then, like it was Artis and Angel. Angel is a funny guy. Artis is the biggest troll I've ever met. And we were just always saying like random stuff, I don't know, like, and I was just like saying, like, I'm rolling them up into pretty much a joint, and it was just like, it's just random. I'm just speaking like half the time. I don't even know what I'm saying. And then I came home, I remember, I was like, 100 plus like notifications on my Twitter, and I was like, what happened here? And I just went and I saw Tarek watched it and I was like laughing. I remember just like saying, well, who is this guy here? Like, imagine a guy coming in as a sub talking about he's gonna roll people up into things you can smoke, and I don't know, it was just random. Funny, it was funny, some funny moments. Like, I
mean, you already mentioned that basically a whole lot of the FPX people were and still are kind of trolly, but how was it specifically working with someone as legendary as Angel, who already had a super long history in Counter-Strike and now is maybe the best, or at least one of the best in-game leaders we have in Valorant right now?
He's definitely like the best player I've worked with. Not only is he an amazing leader, person, and IGL, he's also just like, he's really good individually. A lot of people don't know this. They're like, oh, he's in-thing, he's TPing in dying first as Omen all the time, but he is like such an aggressive player. He creates a lot of space, and a lot of people don't know, obviously, when he dies, he has full control over the round, still like calling, and obviously sometimes he can maybe look at like it's a bit too much, and maybe it is, but he's just like such an amazing player and leader. And I remember vividly when I came home, I was like saying to my friends on Discord, I was like, I'm never gonna IGL after I work with him. I was like, I can't compete. Like, this guy is like 40 years old, bro, and there's no way I can't compete with a guy like this, bro. And I was like, I'm not gonna IGL, and it's funny, now I'm IGLing today, right? And I've said, like, I was just like dumbfounded by how good his reads were. Honestly, how easy it was coming in as a sub. Like, he just told me what I had to do on the scenarios. Like, it was not even micromanaging, but I just knew before the games, when I had a certain area, what he wanted me to do reaction-wise, and what my goal of the default was. And so I was not even that nervous when I was playing, because I just knew I had what goals I had as a player and what he expected of me. And I was just trying my best to do those things correct. And they were all amazing players. Like, I don't know, Schau also, like, he was winning every clutch. Like, we were always laughing about it. We were like, Schau's baiting again for stats and stuff like this, but it was just like, it's fine. If the guy is winning every single clutch, like, he can bait all he wants, you know. Like, we were just like, it was, of course he's not baiting. It was just a thing we had it was just trolling around, right? But he was just like winning every unwinnable round you could imagine, right? And also, like, they were just all insane. Like Supan and Artis as well, and of course Sugetsu, who came later. I didn't get a chance to work with him, but yeah, amazing players.
I also had a chance to talk with Doombros a bit in the past, and he told me a big part of his job is basically keeping Angel and his insanity chained down, because this guy is someone who, well, according to Doombros, Angel would have picked like Phoenix and Yoru since release of Yoru and Phoenix. How did you also experience that let's call it wild side of renowned IGL Angel?
Yeah, of course. I remember, like, obviously we were a bit more limited to comps and stuff because I was there and I've never ever played like Cypher or Killjoy and stuff like it. So we're a bit limited to like what we can change around with. But I just like vividly remember that sometimes like we came into the bus after a game, we just won and it was like, oh, the comp felt great, whatever. And then like this guy just says, yeah, I think we're gonna play Euro next game on Breeze. I was just saying, I was just sitting there like, all right, well, man, that's all good and stuff like that, bro. And yeah, but he just like had some ideas and most of the time it worked. But I think it's Doom Bros and Angel have like a very good balance. I think they keep each other in check with the craziness. So sometimes it peaks out a little bit. That's also why they're so unpredictable. Like a lot of our comps were the same when I was there standing in, but their team at the time when they were in FPX, like they were so dominating because they were literally impossible to counter-strat. It was not possible because you didn't even know what comp they were gonna play next game. Like they might as well change it. They cracked like 3 different comps on the maps. Like
in the end, the creativity and the questionable pick ideas brought kind of a win maybe to FPX, and all got obviously body and title. You didn't, or was the situation ever clarified and now you finally have your winning body and title?
And I definitely have it, but it was actually a weird, funny story. But like I did, like I got told from the start, you're definitely gonna get it because like 6th and 7th man were always getting bodies and stuff like this. I was just like, I got told, yeah, you're gonna get it at the same time as everyone else. Like you're obviously gonna get it. And then all of a sudden they were like, I remember on WhatsApp or Discord, they were like, yeah, we got it, it's nice. I saw the tweets and I was like, fuck, I didn't get mine. I was like a bit jealous. Like obviously I didn't win it with them, but I was a part of the way. So I was just like tweeted like, right, what is this? Like I was farming impressions as well, right? Like a lot of people saw it and like they Riot just made a mistake basically. The guy apparently gave the Riot bodies to everyone besides me and then went on holiday, bro. He went on holiday and apparently they have one guy that can give it. I was like, what is this company? Like what's going on? So yeah, that was funny. But yeah, in the end, I got it. Just a bit delayed, some would say.
And now in Tier 2, what are your goals for now this season? Do you want to get playoffs? Do you want to even make it lift the trophy in the end? Or are your goals more moderate? And what do you think will the future hold for you?
At least for myself, personal goal is that like I just want to grow as a player and as IGL. I have a lot to learn. I know this. And so yeah, that's like every day striving to get better. But for team-wise, it's like short-term, we want to just like make playoffs pretty much. Short-term at least. It's not like, yeah, we're done if we don't, but we want to make playoffs at least and show that that's like kind of where we want to be. And then long-term, of course, I want to get back into Tier 1. Like it's an easy thing to say, but yeah, I mean, that's what I'm working towards every single day. And I'm not going to stop once I get it. Like I just want to get back into where it's really fun to play, really. So that's the long-term.
With all the work, do you even have time to do anything outside of Valorant or even any aspirations, any hobbies, any other passion to kind of have a work-life balance, or is it just Valorant 24/7 for you?
I mean, honestly, it's something I struggle a bit with. It's because it's that whole balance between working harder, or like not harder, but working more than your peers or like the guys you're playing against, and also having like a good balance with your life is something I struggle with. Like I can get kind of consumed in what I do. The only thing I've do once in a while is like, in periods I go to the gym a lot, and I've been kind of slacking on that lately. But yeah, honestly, that's I think a super important thing that even I need to work a lot on is like just the balance, right? Like working hard and like just grinding out of the game and like playing 24/7, but also like having a life next to it. I think it's a super crucial point to any player, and obviously it doesn't make sense to just like mindlessly play ranked 24/7. So you need to have like something you're working towards, but. Yeah, it's a hard balance for me, honestly. Like, and right now it's pretty much just Valorant. So yeah, I think that's a thing a lot of players struggle with, honestly.
What has been your experience from the 2 regional leagues you played in? You now are playing DACH, you played Polaris beforehand. Is there anything on and offside the server you realize is super different, or are they kind of samey?
The difference between Polaris, I think I even said it in like one of the after-game interviews, is like Polaris is a super strong region. I mean, a lot of players are slowly leaving it because it's just not sustainable. With like the viewership and the fans and the orgs investing, there's just not enough of it. So like that's one thing. And like in DACH, for example, there's just a lot more eyes to the games. Like people actually care about the games. They're like have people cheering for the teams, and there's actual fans, and there's huge communities talking about after the games, like, oh, this guy did bad, this guy did good, and I think that's just so healthy for the game. That's how it all goes around. Like, if there's no eyes on it, obviously it's not gonna run around, right? And I think that's the problem in Polaris and in DACH. I think they do it much better to like keep people interested. And yeah, honestly, it's amazing finally playing in something where people actually watch. Like, even if we don't have that many fans in Laterious maybe at the moment, hopefully we can win some over. But I mean, it's just amazing playing in games where people actually care and watch, right?
Then it's time for you to build the Laterious fan base, I guess, because now, well, as per usual, last words are yours, so time to hype up for people to become Laterious fans.
Yeah, I mean, of course, they're all welcome to come to Big Papa here, but I don't know, like, yeah, I don't know, we're hoping that more people will cheer us on, and obviously we have to earn some respect, right, and show we can play with the big boys, obviously. Yeah, I don't know, like, Laterious is a great org, they're supporting us well, and I know they're really focused on like the content side of things and trying to provide like it's gonna come in the future. They're signing a lot of like content creators as well. So yeah, they're just trying to create like a nice brand and create like a thing that people can come together around as a community and like watch the games together, and like, yeah, I think it's really cool. It's obviously gonna take some time, but I hope some more people will slowly follow us on the journey to becoming like a more established team / org, right?
Hallo Leute, ich gucke eben nur vorbei, um was zu überprüfen. Ja, ihr habt dem Kanal noch nicht gefolgt, das solltet ihr jetzt unbedingt mal tun. Und so lange stehe ich jetzt hier auch. Was ist denn jetzt los? Ich komme später wieder, ne? Und dann ist abonniert.